Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatarashata Shishimar Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Srila Gurudev Ki Jai. Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatarashata Shishimar Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatarashata Shishimar Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatarashata Shishimar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nityal Pravishta Maha Bhagavat Shila Gorksharas Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Nityal Pravishta Shila Satchitaranda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Nityal Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Shila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Rupanu Gogoriya Guru Varga Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopala Patadash Raghunath Shar Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda Ki Jai. नाम अक्षय श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल ब्रज मंडल मथुर वृंदावन धाम की जय। सर्व अभिष्ट प्रदत्त गिरिराज महाराज की जय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जय। श्री यमुना देवी गंगा देवी की जय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जय। श्री पूर्णमासी योगमाया की जय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जय। श्री ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। श्री सारार्थ-दार्शिनी वृत्ति की जय। श्री श्रील विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती ठाकुर की जय। श्री भ्रमर-गीत की जय। सर्वव्रज देवी गण की जय। श्री विश्वभानुनंदिनी श्रीमती राधा ठाकुरानी की जय। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपदाय राधिकाय प्रियात्मने श्रीमद्भक्तिवेदान्त नारायणेति नामिने। नमो ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरतिषे नमः। गुरवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकायै तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तरभक्ताय नमो नमः। यं प्रव्रजन्तमनुपेतमपेतकृत्यं द्वैपायनो विरहकातर आजुहाव पुत्रेति तन्मयतया तरवोऽभिनेदुस्तं सर्वभूतहृदयं मुनिमानतोऽस्मि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। शृण्वतं स्वकथा कृष्ण पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तन हृदन्तस्तो ह्यभद्राणि विधुनोति सुहृत्सतम्। नष्टप्रायेष्वद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टकी। तवैवास्मि न जीवामि त्वया विना इति विज्ञाय राधे त्वां नायमां चरणान्तिकम्। भक्त्या विहीना अपराधलक्षाय क्षिप्ताष्टकामादितरङ्गमध्ये कृपामयि त्वां शरणं प्रपन्ना वृन्दे नमस्ते चरणारविन्दं। भज श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hari Bol, Hari Priya Didi, Dandavat Pranams, Gargraj Ji, Pranams, Madhavi Didi, Indira Mataji, Raseshwari Mataji, Bhavatarani Mataji, Nri Hari Prabhu, Charo Didi, and Prajumna Prabhu, and Mantramurti Mataji. Dandavat Pranams to all of you. Hari Bol. All right, so I think today I'm just going to read the summary from here to recap, but then tomorrow we can sing the full Bhramara-gīta together, one after the next. But yeah, today I'll just do this. So this is from Bhagavat Pravaha by I think his name is Gauranga Darshan Prabhu. One day, Lord, actually, wait. Yeah, let's just read this. Okay. In the morning, after Uddhav tried to console Nanda Baba and Yashoda Maya, then the next morning, the Vraj Gopis saw lotus-eyed Uddhav, told Krishna in looks and attire. They brought to a secluded place and began to remember Krishna's pastimes as they wept in separation. Srimati Radharani, deeply absorbed in Krishna, noticed a bumblebee. Imagining it to be a messenger of Krishna, she indirectly rebuked Krishna, expressing her supreme love through the 10 kinds of impulsive speech. Her song is called Bhramara-gīta. She contrasted her own supposed ill fortune with others' good fortune, while glorifying the names, forms, qualities, and pastimes of Krishna. She then declared that although Krishna may have abandoned the gopis, they could not possibly stop remembering him, even for a moment. Uddhav was astonished to see in the gopis the highest degree of pure devotion, and he tried to console them with Krishna's message for them. I left you all just to increase you for me and intensify your remembrance of me. By these intensified feelings, you are sure to regain my association soon. Okay, so I think that's where we read up to. Where is it? Oh, yeah. That wasn't the best summary. Anyways, tomorrow I'll do a better thing. Okay, so let's go back. Okay. Okay. So actually, let's read from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Today's a short reading anyway, so after the Bhramara-gīta, then Shukadev Goswami said, I heard this. Uddhav then tried to pacify the gopis, who were most eager to see Lord Krishna. He thus began relating to them the message of their beloved. Shri Uddhav said, certainly you gopis are all successful and are universally worshipped. Dedicated your minds in this way to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva. Devotional service unto Lord Krishna is attained by charity, strict vows, and fire sacrifices, by japa, study of Vedic texts, of regulative principles, and indeed, by the performance of many other auspicious practices. By your great fortune, you have established an unexcelled standard of pure devotion for the Lord, Uttama Shloka, that even the sages could hardly attain. By a great fortune, you have left your sons, husbands, bodily comfort, relatives, and homes in honor of the supreme male who is known as Krishna. You have rightfully claimed the privilege of unalloyed love for the transcendental Lord, O most glorious gopis. Indeed, by exhibiting your love for Krishna in separation from him, you have shown me great mercy. My good ladies, now please hear your beloved message, which I, the confidential servant of my master, have come here to bring you. The Supreme Lord said, "You are never actually separated from me, for I am the soul of creation. Just as the of nature, ether, air, fire, water, are present in every created thing, so I am present within everyone's mind, of air and senses, and also within the physical elements and the modes of material nature." This was a very amazing commentary. Krishna's first message, which gives instructions and philosophical knowledge, acts to reveal the unassailable strength of the gopis' prem to the most intelligent scholars, and to hide the greatness of their love from the dull-minded. The gopis' prem has been the gopi prem has been proven the strongest because it has rendered useless the Gyan Yoga taught by me, the Lord of the mind and yoga. Krishna said, "O gopis, you are never, so why are you crying over and over again with a wish to die?" The gopis responded, "How are you never separated from us?" Then, "I am never separated from you because I am the super soul pervading all the revealed scriptures." Anyways, this is a long purport, so I'm not going to. Anyways, that was a really amazing purport. Atmanevatmanatmanam srejehanyanupala atma mayanubhavena bhutendriya gunatmana. By myself, I create, sustain, and withdraw myself. I create, sustain, and withdraw myself within myself by the power of my personal energy, which comprises the material elements, the senses, and the modes of nature. Sārārtha-darśinī commentary by Śrīla Viśvanātha Cakravartī Ṭhākura. Krishna said, "Furthermore, I am the subject doing action, the location of action, and the object of action. Upon the substratum of myself, I create the universe, which is myself." The gopis replied, "But your form is Satchidananda, full of eternity, knowledge, and bliss, and this universe appears to be different from that." Krishna replied, "The universe is created from my Maya Shakti, which in turn creates all the material elements. Though the external energy, Maya Shakti, is one of my forms, it is not my original person. It is not my original personal form. It's not my Sarup." For the gopis, the meaning is as follows: I make my appearance in your mind by my own effort for the sake of conjugal union and other pastimes. I maintain that form for a moment, and then I make that form disappear. The gopis ask, "By what particular effort do you do this?" Krishna, "Accomplish this by the power of my yoga maya." Gopis, what is the nature of the self that you make appear?" Krishna, "It is that form with all my limbs, my senses, such as eyes, and my qualities, such as beauty, sweetness, cleverness, and intelligence. All of these all of these comprise Krishna's Atma. Thus, the compound which they comprise is expressed in the singular number. Atma jnana maya shuddho vyatirikto gunaya sushupti swajagradhibhir maya vritti bhirit iyate. Being composed of pure consciousness or knowledge, the soul is distinct from everything material and is uninvolved in the entanglements of the modes of nature. We can perceive the soul through the three functions of material nature, known as wakefulness, sleep, and deep sleep. Commentary. If the gopis ask, but then how is it, but then how if the gopis ask, but then how is that the people in general do not know your original true identity? Then Krishna answers, my original form, which is transcendental to the modes of nature, is perceived everywhere as the indwelling supersoul. The supersoul possesses pure spiritual knowledge, which is transcendental to the modes of nature and has no connection with them. Though I am the creator due to my inconceivable power, I remain pure and never directly in contact with the modes of material nature. Though forever existing within the material bodies, the supersoul remains distinct. Moreover, even though I am the controller of the modes of nature, I am not involved with them. The supersoul can be inferred through the material functions of the mind during waking, sleeping, and dreaming. This point is confirmed in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 10.2.35. Sattvam na ched dhaturi Sattvam na ched dhaturidam nirjam bhaved vijnanama jnana vidhapamarjanam guna prakashar anumiyate bhavan prakashate yasya chayena va guna. O Lord, cause of all causes, if your transcendental body were not of material nature, one could not understand the difference between matter and transcendence. Only by your presence can one understand the transcendental nature of your Lordship, who are the controller of material nature. Your transcendental nature is very difficult to understand unless one is influenced by the presence of your transcendental form. Bhagavan sarva bhuteshu lakshita swatmana hari trishyar buddhyadibir drashta lakshanar anumahpakai. That's Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 2.2.5. The personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, is in every living being along with the individual soul. And this fact is perceived and hypothesized in our acts of seeing and taking help from the intelligence. The meaning for the gopis is as follows. Though residing in Mathura, I, being full of knowledge, am always conscious of you and never forget you. Even here, I am free from any fault of associating with the women of Mathura, because I remain aloof. I am severely pained by my separation from you, so how could I get pleasure from any other women? I continually dwell on your qualities, such as your tender beauty and sweet sidelong glances. Similarly, you can also always perceive me with your mental faculties during the three states of sleeping, dreaming, and waking. In sleep, that's Sushupti, you can perceive my general form and qualities as the Paramattha. In dreams, in your Swapna, you can perceive my particular form and qualities. And in waking consciousness, Jagaradbhir, you can perceive me directly with the full manifestation of my laughing, dancing, and other characteristics of the sweet pleasures of union. Sambhoga Madham. Yenendriyarthan dhyayeta mrisha swapna varuttita tanirundhyat indriyani vinidra pratyapadyata. As a person just arisen from sleep may continue to meditate on a dream even though it is illusory, so by the agency of the mind, one meditates on the sense objects, which the senses contain. Therefore, one should become fully alert and bring the mind under control. Commentary. Krishna said, this Gyan Yoga which I have imparted bears fruit when the mind is restrained. This verse proposes control of the mind. In the waking state, a man meditates material objects in his mind. While dreaming as well, by the mind he meditates on dream objects. even though they are false. Thus, the mind and senses are restrained. After all, a person who is careful and alert, vinindra, obtains that person who is careful and alert obtains knowledge, as evidenced by the saintly behavior of persons in the past. For the gopis, this means waking from a swooning condition. Persons like yourself should reject as unreliable. Persons like yourselves should reject as an unreliable source of knowledge that mind by which they meditate on the objects of the senses, such as seeing me, touching me, drinking the nectar of my lips, and embracing me. Although these are real because they come from my actual appearance in this world, false as in a dream state. This is because upon giving up your sleeping condition, you appeared with eyes and other senses devoid of mascara, eye coloring, or sandalwood paste. I understand that though I gave you all sorts of enjoyment, you consider all that enjoyment false due to being blinded by loving attachment to me and having lost all discretion because of excessive anxiety of separation. All this gives me great unhappiness. Therefore, I sent this message to convince you of the reality of all these pastimes we've performed. Etaranta samamnayo yoga sankyam manishinam tyagastapo dhamma satyam samudranta ivapaga. According to intelligent authorities, this is the ultimate conclusion of all the Vedas, as well as all practice of yoga, sankhya, renunciation, austerity, sense control, and truthfulness, just as the sea is the ultimate destination of all rivers. Commentary. All the methods described in all the scriptures have as their purpose control of the mind. That is the import of this verse. Krishna said, "Control of the mind is the conclusion of all the Vedas, and this is sufficient to make one successful in life. Ashtanga Yoga, discriminating spirit from matter, that's Sankhya. Renunciation, that's Sannyas. Following one duty, that's Swadharma. And subduing the senses, Dhamma, are different methods. But they all lead to the same place, namely control of the mind, just as all rivers lead to the ocean." For the gopis, this means, as one transcends material existence by controlling the mind, similarly, you can transcend the pain of separation from me by mind control. It is the uncontrolled mind that makes you perceive your association with me as illusory, even though it is real. The meaning of the words is the same in both these interpretations. Yatvaham bhavati nam vai dure varte priyo drisham manasa sanikarshartam madanu dhyana kamyaya. But the actual reason why I, the beloved object of your sight, have strayed far away from you is that I wanted to intensify your meditation upon me and thus draw your minds closer to me. Commentary. The gopi said, "O Uddhav, by this news from Krishna, you have doubled our pain. Therefore, should we call the sender of this message ignorant of the proper time, place, and person? Or should we criticize you instead for being so thoughtless? You have brought this burden of Brahma-gyan this far, but who will buy it in Vraj? Can the gopis, who from birth have been drinking the nectar of Krishna's bee, now drink the bitter neem sap of Brahma-gyan? It's better that the women of this place give up their lives if only such an abominable thing is available as food. Better that they die of starvation." Now just listen, you great fool. Just listen. This Brahma-gyan, which is found in the leaf huts of the hearts of great saintly physicians, is the medicinal herb that can certainly cure the disease of material existence. But can it cure the grave disease, Krishna Prem? Did those doctors ever research this disease? After learning the science of medicine from Sandipani Muni, Krishna has taught you and then sent you to us with the herbal cure to relieve the great fever of Prem. You can now be our Uddhav and take this medicine back to its sender. Drinking it, Krishna will Drinking it, Krishna will extinguish his fever of prema for us. Make sure that no trace of fever remains. As for us, may our great fever of prema remain for may our great fever of prema remain for 100 births. And if you have no such herb with you, then what can be done? Alas, can the torrents of rain that will put forth the sorry, alas, can the torrents of rain that will put out a forest fire extinguish the fire of lightning? If we find in Krishna's message something a little favorable to us, is that his intention? Or is it just an accident? We cannot place any faith in him. After the gopis spoke in this angry mood, Uddhav answered, "O ladies, just listen to me for one moment with attention. I have brought to you another message apart from this knowledge of Brahman, apart from this Brahma-gyan." Then Uddhav related Krishna's statements, which the gopis heard with great faith and eagerness. The general meaning of Krishna's message is as follows. That I, who am so attractive to your eyes, am now situated far away from them, is simply out of my desire to increase your meditation on me. By that meditation, your minds are drawn to me. Therefore, now I am very close to your minds. The following is also implied simultaneously. You gopis are also extremely attractive to my eyes, and thus, since you are now far away from my eyes, please remain near to my mind. Thus, it is deduced that an object of attraction is far from the mind when it is in the vicinity of one's eyes, and near the mind when it is far from the eyes. Of the two, the mind is more important. Therefore, I desire that you remain close to my mind. May that be your desire as well. Yata durachare prishte mana avishya vartate strinam na chana tata cheta sannikrishte kshigochare. When her lover is far away, a woman thinks of him more than when he is present before her. Commentary. This verse considers the relative importance of feeling with the heart and seeing with the eyes. Cha and indicates that this example holds true for men as well as women. Like women, men become more absorbed in thinking of a beloved woman when she is far away than when she is present before their eyes. Oh, this next verse looks familiar. Maya vesha mana kritsnam vimukta shesha vrittiyat anusmarantyo mam nityam achiran mam upaishyata yata. Because your minds are totally absorbed in me and free from all other engagement, you remember me always, and so you will very soon have me again in your presence. Commentary. The gopi said, "O Uddhav, this message also you should keep in the treasure box of your heart. Though now Krishna is enjoying the women of Mathura, sometime in the future he will be far from their eyes. At that time, you can give this message to them. But right now, this message is unacceptable to the women of Vraj. Previously, when Krishna was present here and visible to our eyes, and then was absent for a moment, that moment felt like 100 yugas. During each minute of that period of absence, the gopis would have drawn Krishna into their minds with thousand-fold feelings of separation." When the gopis spoke sarcastically in this way, Uddhav replied, "O women, if this message does not appeal to you, then hear another message from me. I have brought many messages." Again, Uddhav delivered Krishna to them as mentioned in this verse. Uddhav said, "As you have completely rejected objects like house and husband and absorbed your minds in constant remembrance of me, very soon you will obtain my personal presence." Ya maya kridatartryam vanesmin vraja astita alabdharas rasakalyanyo mapurmad viryachindaya. Although some gopis had to remain in the cowherd village and so could not join the Ras dance to sport with me at night in the forest, they were nonetheless fortunate. Indeed, they attained me by thinking of my potent pastime. Commentary. This verse gives proof of Krishna's personal presence when some gopis were locked in their houses by their husbands on the night of the Ras dance, as described in a previous verse. Krishna's message said, "Why were some gopis not able to sport with me on the night of the Ras Lila in Vrindavan? They were forcibly kept back in their home in Vraj by their husbands. Although they wanted to die because their desires could not be fulfilled, and because they experienced great pain and separation from me, still they were very fortunate. Thus, remaining alive, they attained me by the Ras dance and other pastimes of mine. In other words, I appeared directly before them in their homes in Vraj and enjoyed pastimes with them during that night. After that, on other nights, they entered the Ras dance on the bank of the Yamuna." Shri Shuka Uvacha. Haribo, Ganga Mataji, Sudevi Didi, and Krishna Karshini Didi. Okay, your kids tonight. Cool. All right. So wait, what were we reading up to 51? Okay, just want to see. Shri Shuka Uvacha. Evam Priyatamadishtam Akarnya Vrayoshita Ta Uchur Udavam Pritas Tat Sandeshagata Smriti. Shukadev Goswami said, "The women of Vraj were pleased to hear this message from their dearmost Krishna. His words having revived their memory, they addressed Uddhav as follows." Commentary. This verse was spoken by the gopis mentioned in the previous verse, who had been trapped in their houses. The gopis said, "Uddhav, during that night we enjoyed with Krishna." After hearing from Uddhav, these gopis remembered their own proof of his words. They then became satisfied with Uddhav and talked politely with him. Gopya uchu deshtahito hata kangso yadunam sanugo gagrit deshtaptar labdha sarvarthai koshalyaste chuto dhuna. Translation. The gopi said, "It is very good that Kamsa, the enemy and persecutor of the Yadus, has now been killed along with his followers. And it is also very good that Lord Achyuta is living happily in the company of his well-wishing friends and relatives, whose every desire is now fulfilled." Commentary. The gopi said, "It is good that the enemy has been killed." Kachir gadagraja somya karoti pura yoshitam pritimna snigda savrida hasodarekshanarchita. Gentle Uddhav, is the elder brother of Gada now bestowing on the city women the pleasure that actually belongs to us? We suppose those ladies worship him with generous glances full of affectionate, shy smiles. Commentary. Some gopis, other than those who were prevented from going to the Ras Lila, then spoke with jealousy in this verse. The name Gadagraja indicates Krishna, the elder brother of Gada, the first son of Devarakshita, a sister of Devaki's, who also married Vasudeva. Oh, one of Krishna's half brothers. By addressing Krishna in this way, the gopis indicate that he now thinks of himself mostly as a son of Devaki. The implication is that Krishna's connection with Vrindavan has now slackened. The jealous gopi said, "We worshipped Krishna with pleasing, shy smiles and generous glances. Is he now stimulating the love of the women of Mathura with his bold glances? Is he worshipping them? Oh Shiva, Shiva, although that glance is meant to be worshipped by us, it has become their worshipper. This is our great misfortune." Katam rati visheshagya priyascha purayoshitam nanubhadatad vakyar vibhramaishchanubhajita. Sri Krishna is expert in all kinds of conjugal affairs and is the darling of the city women. How can he not become entangled now that he is constantly adored by their enchanting words and gestures? Commentary. Oh, foolish women, why are you asking the same question again? You should have no doubt about this. In this way, other gopis spoke sarcastically with concealed anger. The gopi said, because Krishna knows everything about love affairs, he has become the darling of the women of Mathura. So how will he not become attached to them? Being constantly worshipped by their words and services, Krishna will respond to them and be forced to render service to them also. Therefore, we village women have no special conjugal attraction to offer him, that most exalted person. We are not skilled in the use of such polite words and proper gesture. Thus, we have rightly concluded that Krishna has abandoned us on attaining the cultured women of Mathura. This they imply in their inquiry. Api smaratina sadho govinda prastute kvachit goshti madhe purastrinam gramya svaira katantare. O saintly one, does Govinda ever remember us during his conversations with the city women? Does he ever mention us village girls as he freely talks with them? Commentary. The gopi said, surely Krishna has abandoned us because we deserve to be abandoned. Indeed, we're the most insignificant women in the world and have been rejected after having been enjoyed. Still, do we sometimes enter into Krishna's memory on account of some good quality of us, or even because of something we did wrong? Krishna must speak very freely with the sea women. He and they must sing, joke, riddles, and talk about so many things. Does Krishna ever say, my dear city women, your sophisticated singing and speech is unknown to the gop in my home village. They couldn't understand things. They couldn't understand these things. Does he ever speak about us in that way? Takim nisha smarati yasu tada priyabhye vrindavane kumuda kunda shashankaram ye reme kvanachcharananupura rasa goshyam asmabhiridita manogya kata kadachit. Does he recall those nights in the Vrindavan forest, lovely with lotus, jasmine, and the bright moon? As we glorified his charming pastimes, he enjoyed with us, his beloved girlfriends, in the circle of the ras dance, which resounded with ankle bells. Commentary. Oh, dear gopis, what is the use of criticizing Krishna and the women of Mathura with crooked words? Why don't you speak straightforwardly? Due to the loving expertise of other women and our own misfortune, Krishna may indeed forget us. But how can he have forgotten his own place of residence? In this way, some of the gopis spoke while crying. In the charming forest of Vrindavan, along the Yamuna's banks, which were splendorous with brilliant white lotuses, jasmines, and moonlight, Krishna enjoyed with us at the Ras arena, which resounded with the sounds of ankle bells. Where is there such a riverbank in Mathura? Where else is the music, song, and dance so pleasing to Krishna? The intimate talks we had with Krishna were praised by the heavenly women residing in their airplanes. Do the vile women of Mathura know any such conversations with him? Who in Mathura knows how to make, I don't know how you say this word, unguents, that's anyways, different kinds of perfumes, flower crowns, garlands, and betel nut preparations for Krishna's pleasure? By remaining in Mathura, Krishna's happiness has completely disappeared. We will die in disappointment just thinking of Krishna's lack of bliss. If there were some women in Mathura like us who please Krishna, then he could enjoy dancing with her, playing his flute, and other pastimes. If we heard that such a woman existed, then we'd remain in Vrindavan happily, even though separate from Krishna. Apyesh- uh, Apyeshyatiha dasharhas tapta swakritaya cha sanjeevayanuno gatra yatendro vanamam budhaya. Will that descendant of Dasharha return here, and by the touch of his limbs bring back to life those who are burning with the grief he himself has caused? Will he save us in that way, just as Lord Indra brings a forest back to life with his water-bearing clouds? Commentary. One gopi said, O Sakis, because Krishna is unhappy, he will immediately return. Believing this, another gopi said, Will Krishna really come to Vraj and bring us who are burning with grief, who are burning up with grief because of him? Will he bring us back to life with the touch of his beautiful hand? Kasmat Krishna ihayati praptarajo hatahita Narendra kanya udvahya sarva suhrid vrita. But why should Krishna come here after winning them, killing his enemies, and marrying the daughters of kings? He is satisfied there, surrounded by all his friends and well-wishers. Commentary. Hearing this, one obstinate gopi of the left wing of the Vamya nature spoke. Hey Sakis, foolish women, you do not know at all what happiness Krishna gets during the Ras dance. Hear from me of happiness he likes. Expressing herself in such crooked words, she speaks this verse. Why will Krishna return to Vraj? Here, Krishna has to undergo the hardships of tending the cows. In Mathura, he's obtained a kingdom. Here, Krishna can only sport with women from the cowherd caste, and there, he can enjoy with ladies of noble descent. So what happiness can Krishna endure? Here, Krishna is a cowherd boy. There, Krishna is a king. And after some time, Krishna will get married there. This refers to Krishna's marrying Rukmini while living in Mathura, which occurred during some other day of Brahma, according to the Puranas. Further, in the Gopal Tapani Upanishad 248, Prapya Maturam Purim Ramyam Sada Brahmadisevitam Sanka Chakra Gada Shanga Rakshitam Mushaladivi Yatra So Samstita Krishnas Tribhir Saktya Samahita Rama Niruddha Pradyumnai Rukminya Sahito Vibhu. Sri Krishna, accompanied by his three potencies and by Balaram, Aniruddha, Pradyumna, and Rukmini, stays in delightful Mathura Puri, which is worshipped by Brahma and the other demigods, protected by the conch, chakra, club, and charanga pole. And there's a big Dwarkadish Mandir in an ancient temple. Oh. Kemasabhirvanokobhir anyabhirva mahatmana Shripater aptakams kamasya kriyetartha kritatmana. The great soul Krishna is the lord of the goddess of fortune, and he automatically achieves whatever he desires. How can we forest dwellers or any other women fulfill his purposes when he is already fulfilled within himself? Commentary. O Sakis, give up the jealousy and enmity toward Krishna, who is completely devoid of love for us. One gopi thus spoke about Krishna's indifference towards everything. It may be questioned, since Krishna is the master of the goddess of fortune, doesn't he in fact have love for her? No, because Krishna is apta kamasya, fulfilled in all desires, and kritatmana, self-complete. For him, who is complete by nature, and what does he have for Lakshmi? For him who is complete by nature, what need does he have for Lakshmi? Therefore, there is no princess in Mathura suitable to marry him. This confidential truth is being subtly implied to Uddhav. Param sokyam hi nairashyam swairinapyaha pingala taj janatinam na krishne tatapyasha duratyaya. Indeed, the greatest happiness is to renounce all desires, as even the prostitute Pila has declared. Yet, even though we know this, we cannot give up our hopes of attaining Krishna. Commentary. One gopi replied, "Therefore, you should give up all hopes of attaining Krishna." Another gopi said, "We cannot give him up under any circumstance." First gopi, "It is difficult for anyone to give up hope concerning Krishna. Pingala had desires for men other than Krishna, and therefore she could give up those desires." One second. Ka utsaheta santyaktum uttama shloka samvidam anichato yasya shrir angan na chavate kvachit. Who can bear to give up an intimate talks with Lord Uttamashloka? Although he shows no interest in her, Goddess Shri never moves from her place on his chest. Commentary. One gopi said, "Though a greedy man may not attain his desired object, he does not give up the desire for the object. Who can bear to give up the experience of Krishna's, of Uttamashloka's beauty and sweetness? No one at all. Though Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, is ignored by Krishna, she does not give up his chest, but remains there always in the form of a golden line." Sarichaila vanodesha gavo venu rava ime sankarshana sahayena krishnena charita prabho. Dear Uddhav Prabhu, when Krishna was here in the company of Sankarshan, he enjoyed all these rivers, hills, forests, cows, and flute sounds. Puna puna smarayanti nanda gopa sutam bata Sriniketais tatpadakair vismartum naiva shaknuma. All these remind us constantly of Nanda's son. Indeed, because we see Krishna's footprints, which are marked with divine symbols, we can never forget him. Commentary. One gopi said, "When the memory of a desired object vanishes, the hopes for it also vanish. However, that will never happen with us, because we can never forget Krishna." This is expressed in 3 verses, 49 to 1. A gopi said, "The rivers, hills, forests, cows, and flutes were restored to or utilized regularly by Krishna. We cannot forget Krishna because we see his footprints marked with the divine symbols of a flag and thunderbolt remaining in the earth and stones." Gatya lalita yodara hasalila valokanai madhvagira hrita dhiya katam tam vismaramahe. O Uddhav, how can we forget him when our hearts have been stolen away by the charming way he talks, his generous smile and playful glances, and his honey-like words? Commentary. Uddhav suggested, if you keep remembering Krishna by looking at the rivers, mountains, and forests of Raj, then bind a cloth around your eyes. Use your intelligence to lead your minds to some other thought, and thus forget Krishna. A gopi replies, "O Uddhav, it is not possible to get Krishna because we no longer possess our intelligence, since Krishna has taken it away by his supreme beauty, charm, and honey-sweet words." I'm going to read, even though I said that we would finish with this verse, I'm going to just read a little bit more so that we will have time to read Bhramara-gīta, the full Bhramara-gīta tomorrow. So, He Nata, He Rama, Nata Vrajana, sorry. He Nata, He Rama, Nata Vrajanathartinashana Magnam Udhara Govinda Gokulam Vrijanarnavat. O Master, O Master of the Goddess of Fortune, O Master of Vraj, O Destroyer of all suffering, Govinda, please lift your Gokula out of the ocean of distress in which it is drowning. Commentary. In this verse, the gopis' feelings become so strong that they disregard Uddhav and, turning toward Mathura, call out to Krishna in pitiful voices. O Krishna! In this text, the first phrase is He Nath, He Ramanath. O Krishna, you attract our minds, even though we are unworthy. O Lord of Lakshmi, O Ramanath, we also need to be mastered. O great reservoir of amazing sweetness and tasteful loving reciprocations, which are begged for even by Lakshmi. O Master of Vraj, O Vrajanath, Vraj needs your shelter. O remover of suffering, Arti Nashana. In the past, you performed many noble pastimes to protect us, such as lifting Govardhan Hill to free us from the distress caused by Indra. Now, however, we are in an ocean of the most intense suffering caused by separation from you. Please come of your own accord and save Gokul, which will be destroyed either today or tomorrow. O Govinda, come resume your duties, protecting the cows and supervising their grazing. Enough with this sending of messengers. Shri Shuka Uvacha Tatasta Krishna Sandeshar Vyapeta Virahadvara Udavam Pujayakurur Gyatvatmanam Adhokshajam. Shukadev Goswami continued. Lord Krishna's messages, having relieved their fever of separation, the gopis then worshipped Uddhav, recognizing him as none different from their Lord Krishna. Uvasati chinmasan gopinam vimshucha Krishna lila katam gayan ramayan asagokulam. Uddhav remains there for several months, dispelling the gopis' sorrow by chanting the topics of Lord Krishna's pastimes. Thus, he brought joy to all the people of Gokul. Commentary. When, out of sorrow, the gopis' hopes for Krishna's return grew dim, and they became their lives, Uddhav made them happy by speaking yet other messages, even more confidential. That is the significance of the word after that, tatat. Though Shukadev Goswami has not explicitly described those messages, one can understand them by the guide on the gopis. Krishna said in his message, O you who are dear to me as life, while you are standing before my messenger Uddhav, just close your eyes. Just as the cowherd boys closed their eyes and were delivered from the forest fire, close your eyes and I will deliver you from the devastating fire of separation. Witness my mystic power. Hearing this, the gopis closed their eyes. In a flash of a second, Yogamaya compressed millions of years of time in a single moment. Krishna then appeared on that spot, and in the company of the gopis, enjoyed the ras dance in the Vrindavan forest, dice, drinking honey liquor, water sporting, and swing pastimes. By enjoying all these pastimes, the gopis forgot all their pains of separation. Seeing that all their limbs were exuberant in ecstasy, Uddhav paused a moment and then said, Now, ladies, open your eyes again. Upon opening their eyes, the gopis felt that they have a new birth through the bestowal of 1,000-fold bliss, as when they had closed their eyes. Opening their eyes, the gopis felt that they had taken a new birth through the bestowal of 1,000-fold bliss, as when they closed their eyes. Recognizing Uddhav as non-different from Krishna, they then worshipped Uddhav. The syllable adho in the word adhokshajam means downward, adha. Aksha means eyes, and ja means birth. Krishna in his message, O women filled with prem, if you give up your lives, I will also give up my life upon hearing this news. Don't doubt it. Swearing 1,000 times, I declare that you are my very life. Even though I am trying to go to Vraja every moment, I am unable to do so. Perhaps I'm being kept here because the time of endeavor is not right, or else because the love that the Mathuravasis have for me is an obstacle. By such messages, the gopis' fever of separation by their thinking that Krishna had no love for them was completely dispelled. Thinking that Adhokshaj Krishna was afflicted by the pain of separation like themselves, or else thinking that Krishna was their very life, the gopis then worshipped Uddhav. The gopis said, "O Uddhav, you have spoken well. Even at the cost of suffering the greatest pain, we will remain alive. If you had not given this message, we would have certainly died, and everything would have been destroyed. Therefore, by saving us, you have fulfilled our desire to protect everyone involved, and thus we worship you." The external meaning that the gopis recognize their own souls as one with the transcendental Lord, the Supersoul, is simply a meaning to bewilder the asuras. This is not the real meaning. Indeed, this scriptural passage is just like the Mohini incarnation in its effect. For the Prema Bhakta, oneness of the Lord and the Jiva is insipid. What to speak then? How repulsive it would be for the gopis, who are the crest jewel of all unalloyed pure devotees, to think such a thing. Indeed, Sridhar Swami, who knows the best purport of advanced scriptures, has stated, "Tat katamrita pato do viharanto mahamuda kurvanti kritina kechit chaturvargam trinopamam." Any person who has become mad with bliss by sporting in the nectarian ocean of topics of Krishna thinks of the fourfold goals in life as insignificant as a blade of grass. It can then be seen that even the most potent knowledge of the soul, Atma Gyan, can never cover one who has fully developed Krishna Prem. When Vasudeva and Arjuna saw the Maha-Aishwarya aspect of Krishna, the supreme opulence of Krishna, their parental and friendly relations with him became covered by Dasya Bhakti, devotion in the mood of servitude, but not by Brahma-gyan, knowledge of Brahman. It is seen that the Vrajavasi merged in Brahma-gyan, but this was only to show their distaste for the knowledge of Brahman. Krishna brought the Vrajavasi to the lake of Brahman, merged them in it, and then let them out. Te tu Brahma Adam Nitya Magna Krishnena Chodrita. That's Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 10.16. The word cha udrita, brought them out, or delivered them, is specifically used in the text. Just as living entities are delivered from the ocean of samsara, the inhabitants of Raj were delivered from the repulsive Brahman. Furthermore, if they developed monistic Atma Gyan, realization of the soul as one with Brahman, then they would have not spoken to Balaram with such unsettled minds as they did when he later returned to Raj. Gopyo hasantya paprichu Rama sandarshanadhrita kachiraste aste sukam Krishna purastri janavallabha. Swami said, honored to have the personal audience of Lord Balaram, the young gopis smiled and asked him, "Is Krishna, the darling of the city women, living happily?" That's Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 10.65.9. One gopi said, "It is astonishing that the intelligent women of Mathura have faith in the words of the ungrateful, fickle-hearted Krishna." Another gopi said, "They must have developed faith in his words because he speaks so wonderfully, and also because his beautiful smiling glances arouse their lust." That's 10.65.13. Indeed, if the Vraja gopis had attained the stage of Brahma Gyan, they could never speak if the gopis had attained the stage of Brahma Gyan, they could never speak as they are going to in the future, such jealous words as quoted above, indicative of their ignorance of the soul or Brahman. All right, so that's our reading for today. Tomorrow we will go through all of Bhramara-gīta, and I'll read the translation for all these, and then we'll finish this chapter. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. जय श्री श्री गुरु गंधार गिरिधारी श्री राधा विनोद बिहारी जू की जय, श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मरण मोहन जू की जय। नित्य लीला प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अश्वत रशत शिशिमार भक्ति वेदांत नारायण गोसाई महाराज श्री गुरुदेव की जय। नित्य लीला प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अश्वत रशत शिशिमार भक्ति वेदांत वामन गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्य लीला प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अश्वत रशत शिशिमार भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्य प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अशतर शत शिशुमार भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्य लीला प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अशतर शत शिशुमार भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्य लीला प्रविष्ट महाभागवत श्लोकेश्वर बाबाजी महाराज की जय। नित्य लीला प्रविष्ट श्री सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय। नित्य लीला प्रविष्ट वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री रघुनाथ दास बाबाजी महाराज की जय। श्री रूपानुगौरिया गुरु वार्ग की जय। श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्ट दास रघुनाथ शारद गोसाई प्रभु की जय। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर राय रामानंदारी श्री गौर पार्षद वृंद की जय। नामचय श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल ब्रज मंडल मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय। सर्व अभिष्ट प्रदाता गिरिराज महाराज की जय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंडी मुनु गंगा तुलसी भक्ति देवी की जय। श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। सर्वव्रज देवी गण की जय। श्री विश्वभानुनंदिनी श्रीमती राधा ठाकुरानी की जय। Sārārtha-darśinī वृत्ति की जय। श्री विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती ठाकुर की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। वृंदाय तुलसी देवाय प्रियाय केशवश कृष्ण भक्ति प्रददेवी सत्यवताय नमो नमः। पंचा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। Dandavat pranam everybody. See you all tomorrow for the end of this chapter. Also, just one thing, I wanted to go live yesterday to finish Govardhan Vas Prarthana Dashakam, but the internet wasn't working. That's why I wasn't able to do it. But if the internet is working tonight, then I will definitely go live and finish up that Govardhan Vas Prarthana Dashakam, so that I want to continue doing evening readings every day of, I want to start doing readings every day of volcanic energy. Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj's remembrances of Srila Bhakti Madhav Goswami Maharaj. So, yeah, I'd like to start. Maybe I could start that tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see if I'm able to finish Govardhan Vas Prarthana Dashakam today. All right, everybody. Dandavat pranams. See you all tomorrow. Jai Shri Radhe.